Hello, I'm Farmer Mike, and today we're here to carve some pumpkins. I want to give you some ideas of things that you can do on your own. Today I'll be carving a rhinoceros on this pumpkin. However, you could do a bird, you could do other animals, or perhaps even a spooky face. The whole idea is to enjoy the Halloween season and to get into the carving and playing around with your own creative abilities. So the first thing that you want to do is start with a good pumpkin. In this case, a good pumpkin I like is something that is a little bit unusual. And so you move it around and figure out where you want it to be. It doesn't have to have the stem always at the top. In fact, I'm going to start out here with just the basic outline of where I want maybe a nose to be. And if I don't like exactly where the nose is placed, because I'm using a water-based marker, I can change it. So I can modify it any way that I want and maybe come in a little bit different and decide, well, maybe I want it along this angle here, and we'll put the eyebrows up here and maybe bring the nose on along this way. So that's the beauty of using the water-based marker, because once I get it exactly the way I want, that's when I can come in with a permanent marker and come right back over and be able to have those marks so they'll stay on the pumpkin when I start carving into the flesh, because I want to get as much meat to show as possible. This is a picture of a giant rhinoceros. In fact, what I want to do with it today is to take it and put it on a giant pumpkin. This pumpkin here is 275 pounds, so I think it's fitting for a rhinoceros, don't you? I'm going to use just a standard folding knife here to be able to start carving, and I always go with the deepest parts first. So in this case, that would be the horn of the rhinoceros. So let's go in and start carving. What I'll do here is I will carve in one way first, like this, and then out the other. And then I'll just kind of put it in at an angle and start cutting out the meat of the pumpkin. And this is the way that we'll be carving this pumpkin today. In order to get an idea of how thick the pumpkin is, one of the things I'll often do is just thump on it a little bit. And as I do that, I can see if it's starting to shake. If it starts to shake too much, I'm too thin. If it looks nice and firm like this, I'm still in good shape. Another option would be to cut a hole all the way through, maybe in the back or even in the center of the eyeball, so that you can see exactly how thick the pumpkin is. Here I'm just kind of shaving off some of the pumpkin rind so we can get a better idea of what we've got to work with. So now I'm just kind of into framing it, shaping it up the way I think it really should be. The deeper I go, the more light will come through if you put a candle or a light bulb in the back. And the best way to do it in this case would simply be to cut a hole in the back of the pumpkin and put a big light bulb in. It gives it a nice effect. To give it a little bit of accent, I'll go ahead and take a toothpick and put ink on the end, just to give it a little bit of something in the eye. To finish off the pumpkin, what we're going to do is give it a little bit of an accent by using the natural colors of the pumpkin. So I'm going to just go around here in kind of a variegated pattern and be able to see how well it's going to give me some depth. And then we'll put a starburst pattern in. Once your pumpkin creation is complete, put it in a cool spot so it doesn't get too hot. Also, you can add a little bit of bleach or have your parents put some bleach on the face of it just to get it to last a little bit longer. But even so, it's a piece of fruit, so it'll only last a couple days. So don't carve it too soon. And I think that'll finish up this pumpkin here. In this case, we've got a giant rhinoceros on it, but see what you can do on your own. I'm sure it'll turn out well, and have a great and happy Halloween.